Hi, friends. Welcome to Yuck. Dirty be playing Outer Worlds. Like, comment, subscribe, all that shiznit. So, what we're doing today is we're heading over to Edgewater.
This wouldn't happen to be your ship, would it?
Uh.
You sure walked in it like it was your ship.
Uh.
If this ship is yours.
Well, I mean.
Well, ma'am, you owe Spacer's Choice a hefty fine. Afraid we gotta dock your pay.
You've got all wrong on Starship Safety Inspector. That's funny. I don't have a chap.
I'll waive your fee since you helped us with those marauders. If you're looking for work, talk to the constable down at Edgewater. She's got a bounty on marauders. Edgewater's not too far. Just follow the road east of here, over past the cemetery. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to inspect the crime scene before I make my report.
Alright, take care. And she's just like, this place, what is this nightmare world I woke up in? Jesus. Is this even real? She's probably wondering if this is even real. Oh boy. Speaking of marauders, no wonder she's got a bounty on him. No wonder there's a bounty on him in town. She can recognize them by looking at them anymore. They look kind of wrong. They're like from like a mile back almost. They look from like, you know, they wear all this piecemeal armor and they act very shaky. Very. Like, I'd imagine that like it's very easy to tell a marauder from other people because. Even from a distance, because they don't look right. They look very mentally unstable from a distance, is I think the best way to put it. I don't know if that really comes across well in the actual gameplay, but, well, I'm pretty sure that's what they're supposed to look like. They're supposed to just give off this vibe of, I'm extremely insane, you should be careful around me. It'd probably just kill me. Also, I didn't loot those corpses. Help. I have an RPG. No, I don't want to go back and look for those. I don't know where they went. I'm just really like, need to get Edgewater, need to get Edgewater. Right now. I just want to keep going with the main quest, but let's stop and admire the view for at least a second first, eh? Look at that shit. Fucking beautiful, man. Look at this beautiful view here.
Whoa, hey.
It's a long fucking story, dude.
Don't go ambling out in those hills. That's marauder territory, friend.
I'm just passing through.
Ain't safe out here. You'd best head into town. Avail yourself of Edgewater's high walls. And low prices.
Is that why you got a pair of armed guards?
I'm being vigilant. Don't want to get blindsided by some corpse-chewing marauder come stalking out the shadows.
Ooh. Ooh. I never got your name. I'm Vracia. By the way, I'm kind of proud of that name, Vracia. It sounds cool.
Pleased to make your acquaintanceship. I'd shake your hand, but I've been hauling corpses. You don't want none of that on you. Name's Silas. Junior in humor for the town of Edgewater. We're all part of the Spacer's Choice family.
Ooh. Who do I talk to about a power regulator? Because my ship needs one, see.
Definitely not the junior in humor, that's for sure. If you've got business inquiries, you should stop by Reed Thompson's office. He's up in the tower above the cannery. Head into town, follow the road. Look, you obviously ain't a worker. What's your racket? You a smuggler? Freelancer?
I'm pretty sure that throughout the game we're basically going to, be classified as a freelancer. So she's sitting here like, okay, so I'm in this weird corporate world that seems to really, really run on business, like really, really, more than the world I came from, probably. Probably not too much more, but definitely kinda more. I wonder how much your character's supposed to know about the way Halcyon is, and how much maybe that was that way on Earth. Because it seems to have the impression that things went souther and souther and souther in the corporate control direction and the money is everything direction. The longer the colonists were in Halcyon. But so I'm curious as to how Earth 70 years ago was compared to this place. Or wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. So, actually, Actually, because I don't know if we were just sitting in that pod for 70 years after we came here. Or or like it includes the ride over. That's what I'm wondering. Anyway, depends on the work. You offer me a job?
Edgewater is a company town, board-owned and operated. That includes the cemetery. None of us own our grave sites. We rent them from the company.
Well, that's kind of
Renting
terrifying.
means money. Money means paperwork. Paperwork means signatures. Some of our families become a mite delinquent in paying their dues, you see.
You're making people pay for their own graves. Well, I mean, as far as I'm aware, that's not too different than real-life cemeteries. Let me know, friends, because I don't really know how they work. But, why can't you collect these fees yourself?
Quotas, mostly. Got a backlog of graves to fill. Bodies won't bury themselves, you know?
Well, that's extremely... that definitely sets a nice, happy tone for how life is here. It's probably really hard to even keep living here, so that scares her a lot. Alright, I'll collect those fees for you.
4 workers still
Fine.
haven't paid up. Phyllis, Conrad, Ludwig, and Martin Abernathy. He's a special case. You may want to twist his arm a little.
Why is Abernathy a special case?
He just is. Look, I don't want to get into it. Just make sure he pays up.
Okay. She doesn't really feel right about this. But she might as well try to ingratiate herself into this place. And also she wants to figure out what's going on with these people. And if she can maybe help them. And if they died suddenly, she doesn't want them to, you know, these people to just not have graves. That's the only reason she's doing this, by the way. And if she can find a way to not have to make them fork up money in order to have a fucking grave after they die, you know, in the local cemetery, then she will absolutely take that. Where can I find these people?
Conrad's got a barbershop in town. Phyllis works at the cannery most hours. Abernathy... I ain't seen him in a few days. His domicile is near the cannery. You'll find him in town. All except Ludwig, that is. He's over by the landing pad.
Alright, there's something else I wanted to ask you.
Yeah?
This town must be in pretty bad shape. It's keeping you employed.
You could look at it that way, I suppose. You could look at us and say, those Edgewater saps lost near every soul to plague. But you'd be wrong. We're survivors. Loyal company folk, brave in the wilds.
That mindset's probably what keeps him sane, frankly, at this point. Whatever works for you. How long have you been a junior gravedigger, whatever?
Hang on. Doing some math in my head. 20, 30, carry the one. All my life? Work's been real good to me. Fresh air, exercise. Only problem's the paperwork. Can't get anybody to pay their gravesite fees.
Well, if you want to pay people, if you want people to pay to have a grave when they die, then that's probably going to be something a lot of people aren't going to want to pay. That's kind of like, what the fuck, to me. And that's the thing, is it's that the companies own everything. The companies own the people. It's really spooky, man. And we'll get more into that as the game progresses. You lose a lot of people to Marauders?
Former people, yeah. Marauders been raiding my graves, you see. Hence the armed guards.
If you've got a Marauder problem, I can take care of it. I mean, she's killed a good few of them already.
Well, if you're gonna go headhunting, talk to Constable Reyes back in town. She pays for Marauders by the finger.
Alright, well. Rossi doesn't really like the idea of cutting off fingers in order to be able to get paid for the ones she kills, but she'll probably do it. I mean, this place is clearly run by money, and she doesn't have any right now, so she might as well start figuring that out. Let's see. Any idea where they're coming from?
Couldn't tell you. No, I mean, I'm contractually prohibited from saying anything that might reflect poorly on Spacer's choice. Avoid it. Shouldn't have said that either. Look, forget I said anything.
Yeah, see, wow. That hits different after playing Peril on Gorgon. Do a bunch of people in Spacer's Choice know about the Gorgon incident? Because, spoilers, that's where Marauders came from. They came from taking Adrena time, which Spacer's Choice owns, and if you look at the vending machines, I'm pretty sure you can still buy Adrena time. That's where Marauders come from. Adrena time. They take it and they go fucking nuts. Yeah, it's spooky, man. But let's head into town, because we need to speak to Mr. Thompson. We also need to explore this spoopy place. Also, I really like taking in the atmosphere. This game has great atmosphere in a lot of the places. It really looks like a living, breathing place, if a kind of horrifying living, breathing place. Just by the implications of how these people live throughout everything. Now, this game has a rather comedic tone to it that softens the mood, but it's an effed up place, regardless.
Spacer's Choice takes care of it. Keep your distance, friend. Sick house is no place for a traveler.
Alright, yeah. She's not too keen on going inside a sick house. She hopes that those people get better, but she's not going to risk getting sick. I think I need to rename this Let's Play to a Roleplay because, yeah, frankly, I'm really getting into the roleplay aspect here. So I might as well. In fact, I named my Mass Effect thing a roleplay, and I think I'm better able to get into this now. So, yeah, I think generally my playthroughs of these kinds of games are going to be roleplays because I can, and I love doing the roleplay thing. Hello.
Please don't touch anything. Your hands are probably crawling with germs. Physical hygiene recapitulates moral hygiene. Cleanliness is next to lawfulness.
Oh yeah, he said Barbara outside there. It said Barbara outside there, so she She's got a bit of a mouth on her. Let's do some... I love the quips you can come at people with in this game. I love them so much. Do your haircuts usually come with free lectures?
We don't believe in free anything here in Edgewater. We're a Spacer's Choice company.
Well, that's terrifying.
I'm Conrad. You will report to me if your hair fails to meet Spacer's Choice aesthetic standards.
Frazia suddenly wants to shoot him.
In the event of your death.
She's not gonna, but she wants
I
to.
will clean and prepare your remains for interment.
And now she's going to go good... hold on, wait. She's starting to realize, Conrad. She might as well look into Silas. Silas's problem here.
Gravesite fees. Silas and I had talked about this at length. I thought I'd made it clear my pecuniary situation precludes the necessary restitutions.
You mean you're broke?
As broke as pie crust, friend. Bitless, indigent, destitute. I simply cannot afford it. I am a blemish on the prosperity of our fair settlement. When I expire, I expect Silas to toss my body into a ditch.
You have a very loose definition of the word prosperity. It's some quality drama, Conrad. You should audition. I want to tell him to don't be so hard on yourself. Like I do. Vracia, though? That's some quality drama, Conrad. You should audition.
Thank you, no. I despise the cereals. Tell Silas I can't afford to pay. And that I fully expect to have my medical rights revoked for this dereliction. With my apologies.
Hang on, medical rights?
Some time ago, I fell ill with the plague. By the grace of the law, and through my own hard work, I'd proven worthy of treatment. Frankly, I don't imagine I'll earn that right a second time. Barber work hasn't been profitable, you see. I've had to keep this old place running with my own savings.
That is extremely terrifying. That you are only able to be treated for terminal illness if your work is quality for the company. As someone who has a lot of mental issues in the way of doing good work, that is extremely terrifying to me. And by good work, I mean being able to function in in a work environment. It's very hard for me. I'm still living with my parents because I can't hold down a job. I can't. I literally cannot. There are mental things that always come up when I'm in a job environment and they prevent me from doing my job right and I get fired. It's inevitable. So I'm trying to find my own work that I can do on my own terms and ways that don't push myself too hard so that I can actually make a living at all. And it really helps if those things, coincide with the things that I love. Hence, part of why I'm doing YouTube. There's a lot of other reasons, but yeah, that's part of it. But yeah, so because of that, this scares the shit out of me. Like, the way Spacer's Choice especially operates, especially when we get to Peril and Gorgon, but that'll be later. That'll be, like, close to endgame later. But regardless, why don't you just give Silas an IOU? Like, she's just, like, kind of sad for this man. She kind of feels bad that she quipped at him earlier, but she kind of felt it ridiculous just how much he was putting himself down. Hey. What's funny is I kind of see myself in Comrade there a little bit. I tended to used to put myself down a lot like that. Anyway. Just give him an IOU.
Not a bad idea. But I'd need some kind of collateral. My pair of lucky clippers. No, that won't do. Your idea intrigues me, but I'm afraid I don't have anything to give Silas. I'm open to suggestions.
I'll let you know if I think of anything.
Much obliged.
Also, we can go poking around back here. Will he let us? Can I just, like... Okay. Yeah, sure. She's a bit weirded out as to why he just lets her waltz into his back room, but welcome to video games. They don't make sense sometimes. They're supposed to be fun and engaging, not make sense. Except, when they do make sense, that is awesome to me, because it's probably hard to make a really good video game make sense if you think about it. In every way. In fact, I don't know if that's possible. Make sense in a real-life sense of, like, a person wouldn't usually just let you just kind of waltz into their back room at their business and just close the door on them while they're looking at you. But the game wants you to be able to go back here. Probably mostly so you can find this thing. So what else were they going to do, you know? I mean, they could make it so you have to sneak, but he's going to be standing right there. So, period. So, yeah. It makes sense as to why, but I feel like they could have designed the place differently, and then you'd be able to sneak through. And then maybe if you weren't able to sneak through, you could distract him or something in conversation or what have you. Or tell him something. Or tell him, you know, or like, I don't know. And then you'd be able to just kind of waltz back in there then, but being able to just waltz back in there is odd to me. But, there is a lot of nuance in a lot of things, and like designing that whole scenario probably would have taken a lot of time, and it's a side quest. So I get where they're coming from here. I do. With this. At least I feel like I get it, now that I'm thinking about it, but yeah. Letter from Phyllis. Conrad. Receptionist shot himself. Oof. This is bad. Company's gonna have to call it for what it is. Destruction of Spacer's Choice property. So this is really making it set in just how much the company owns everything idea, including the people. Destruction of Spacer's Choice property. It's not called suicide anymore. Because you're not a person to Spacer's Choice. You're a fucking commodity. That is fucking scary to me. Fuck. You give an asset and somebody has to pay his body price. Wait, what? Hold on. So, it's not just being tossed in a ditch. They hold the fucking... Okay, so this is even worse, and I forgot about this. Because I haven't done this side quest since the first time I played this game, I think, actually. But, which was around when it came out. Words. But yeah, not only do they toss you in a ditch if you don't pay before you die, someone else, you probably your next of kin, or like, you know, literally they will hang that debt over probably anyone else that knew you until they get it. God, fuck Spacer's Choice. And the board in general. God. This is gonna ruin us. So I was thinking that we pawn off his teeth. Eugene had a full set of gold teeth. Everyone's passed down his family or something. You're processing his body, right? Just dig around and pry them out. We sell the teeth somewhere nice and quiet. Use the bits to pay his body price and no one's the wiser. What do you think? Don't write back. In fact, don't talk to me at all. Just give me a special signal next time you see me. Wiggle your eyebrows. Let's see. That's not shady at all, and also that just, oh my god. Like, if it's so much money that it would ruin them, and Phyllis is going to these lengths to pay them, then that is even more terrifying to her. God. If she can help these people not have to live under what Spacer's Choice is doing to them, then she's gonna fucking do it, because holy fuck. Oh yeah, the cantina. There's a general store. There's random peeps, hello.
Rations yet? Yep. 2 whole cans of salt tuna.
Actually, I'm gonna go straight to Thompson's office. Because I want Parvati. She's the best part of this game to me. She's one of the best parts of this game to me. I just want to not be alone in the game sense. I really love Parvati. She's one of my absolute favorites. And we'll be meeting the other two girls that I love very much, and Sam, which is the other one I love very much, very soon. And also, Felix and Max aren't bad as characters either. I think I'd like them if... I think I do like them, except they both kind of
Sorry.
remind me of myself, and I ended up not liking them too
Why
much,
it's
but...
taking so long to fix. I think the answer's technical.
Don't apologize. Just try using small words.
The can's bust open in the oven because she's set to cook saltuna, which isn't what we've got. Mr. Thompson? I think there's someone here to see you.
Focus, Miss Holcomb. You and I are still talking. Let's start over. Walk me through the process. Show me where it's going awry.
Well, sure. It's, mostly on...
Seems we've got a guest. Really now, Parvati, I do wish you'd spoken up. I do apologize.
She did fucking tell you, you fucking asshat.
I might have welcomed you at the gates myself.
I hate this man, just kind of prefacing with that. So if I have a lot of vitriol in everything I say to him, it's because of everything he does that he hasn't done yet. But I think that his mindset is exemplified by the fact that Parvati did tell him that we've got a visitor, but he wasn't fucking listening. He was hell-bent on grilling her, the actual technical expert, about something that she probably should be able to deal with on her own, or... Like, I really despise a lot of how Reed Thompson functions and is. And fucking... Are you Reed? I was told I should talk to you.
I'm Reed Thompson, Outpost Administrator. I cannot help but notice you are not in uniform.
I don't work for Spacer's Choice. So
Of course
fuck you.
I don't have that kind of luck.
Now, I'm the one
I've
saying the
cycled,
so fuck you.
Run
not
away
Rosia.
with my wits. Been a few seasons since we've had a visitor pass through.
My ship needs repairs. I'm looking for a power regulator.
Only regulator we've got is hooked up to the town transformer. Mr. Thompson ain't liable to be keen on dismantling it.
I beg your pardon. I am most emphatically not keen on any such thing.
I'm not keen
I can't
on
let you
liking
have
you,
our
you
power
fucking
regulator.
asshole.
But I happen to know of another one. And I happen to know exactly how you may retrieve it without frying yourself in the process.
Frying myself? Why would that happen?
Oh, yes. Saw someone put his hands on a regulator while the power was running. His legs were still twitching when we buried him.
Oof.
There's a power regulator in the old botanical lab. It's mostly abandoned, so all that power is being squandered. Go down to the geothermal plant. Reroute power from the botanical district over to us. Once their power's shut down, you can have their regulator and be along on your way.
When you say mostly abandoned, what do you mean?
I was not entirely sure how to tell you this. The botanical labs are not legally inhabited, but there are people who live there.
Tell me what I need to do.
The people living in the botanical labs, they're deserters, former workers. I need them back at their posts. I need them to come home. My hope is that by cutting off their power, you will convince those deserters to come back to town. Before you go to the plant, I want you to stop by the botanical lab. Speak to their leader, Adelaide. Tell her the power's about to go, and that it's time her band of deserters came back to town.
Alright, Reed. I'll see what I can do to help you.
My dad told me all about the plant. Taught me all he knew. I could come in useful. I mean, if that's all right with you, Mr. Thompson. Sir.
I hesitate to part ways with Miss Holcomb, but I cannot deny that she is talented, and may prove useful to you. You will need an administrative passcode in order to enter the plant. I am trusting you with mine, and trusting Miss Holcomb to guide you if you'd like.
Well, considering Parvati seems like a sweetie to Vrasia, and spoilers, she is a sweetie, I love her very much. And she doesn't seem to really be at all comfortable around Reed and his demeanor, and Rossi doesn't blame her at all for that. She's more than happy to go ahead and allow Parvati the escape from this man she clearly needs right now. Sure, I could use the company.
Great. I got my wrenches and diagnosticators and hairpins and engine tape, so I'm all set.
Beautiful.
Well, I am glad to hear that. Best of luck to you. And thank you again for your help. It is a lot to ask of a stranger, I know.
Alright, let's keep going. CP New Manager Seminar. Companions. You've gained a companion. They are characters that join you in your adventures and help in a variety of ways. Companions provide combat support. Their skills enhance your skills. They increase your carrying capacity. You accidentally knock over things without meaning to. Whoops, sorry. You can unlock special companion combat abilities with the Inspiration skill. Learn more about your companions in the Companion Ledger. Also, I have to do this really quick, but this is not my final decision. But fuck this man a lot. So many times for so many reasons. I don't care that I died there before I could even reload. I needed to do that for my sanity. Because part of me wants to kill him and these guards and like the rest of like the Spacer's Choice in charge people and then leave this town. And then go on a rampage where I kill everyone that's even associated with the board. But the thing is that technically even people like Parvati are associated with the board because they have no fucking choice really. So, yeah, that's not gonna fly. For my, especially, well, more veracity than my own moral principles, because my moral principles don't often apply to games, because that helps me vent, among other things. If you couldn't tell, by the way.
Hey, man, can we talk? Sorry.
Sure.
Sorry. You just want to get out of here. And you likely don't want to tag along like me.
No, I do.
Mr. Thompson has his own view on matters, on account of it's his job and what all, but that's not the only side of the tale.
This is about the deserters, so what's their side of it?
To Mr. Thompson, a person's a gear. It does its job quiet-like. If it squeaks or stutters, it gets replaced. The deserters are decent.
She's already kind of...
I knew some of them before they left.
Gotten that feeling from him about his very pragmatic way of thinking, and that very pragmatic way of thinking is extremely well exemplified right here with what he wants to do with the deserters. Except what's funny is that it's kind of reciprocated by the deserters' leader, making this a very, very gray choice. And welcome to one of the main things this plot is really, really good at. Making every choice gray as hell. Right or wrong does not exist in this lawless fucking wasteland. Well, okay, lawless isn't law-gripped. Except there's a lot of lawlessness around. Because it's suppressed everywhere else, and I think that it's a really good, sort of this game really exemplifies why this should not be where society goes. So I have enough faith in humanity that society will not be going in this way. I'm certain of that. Anyway, can't blame anybody for wanting to leave. This town's got issues. How well did you know the deserters? You worked with them. You were friends or what? Did you know this Adelaide Reed mentioned?
Miss McDevitt? Oh, gosh, no. She was a real important person. A flavorist. Made all the food taste decent. She used to work up in the big office with Mr. Thompson. All I know is she left after her son died. It was a real big to-do. I could hear them both yelling clear from my own place.
Oofity. How well do you know the deserters? You work with them? You were friends or what?
I don't know anybody well. I mostly listen to them talk, kept my head down.
Hmm.
There was a boy named Thomas who used to follow me around, asking questions about the stuff I fixed. He was real sweet to me. Not any sort of dissident.
Hmm. And we'll be meeting Thomas later, and he's sweet, but I kind of feel bad for him because, well, spoilers, Parvati's a lesbian. And we'll be seeing that, and the girl she ends up falling for later, and it's the sweetest side quest known to man, and I'm really hyped for it, and oh my god. Anyway. Can't blame anybody for wanting to leave. This town's got issues, man.
Life's hard here. Especially for them that don't fit in so well.
Mm.
We're one big Spacer's Choice family, but every family's got the one the rest whisper about.
Like me in
Mr.
real life,
Thompson's aiming
frankly.
to take away their power. They'll have no lights to see, nor heat to cook. They'll be at the mercy of marauders, or worse. I think you should talk to the town's vicar about it. Max, his name is.
I suppose it couldn't hurt. We'll stop by.
Thanks, man. I just think when you gotta make a decision that'll hurt somebody, it's best to think on the right and wrong of it.
Hmm.
That's what my dad used to say anyways.
Yep, and I'd say that is the best way to go about this, but another reason why I love Parvati is she's a lot like me in the anxious introvert way. And the very narrow interest that you love so much that it's the absolute end-all be-all of your life way. For her, it's engineering. For me, it's games. And also writing, but mostly games. Narrative games, too. Like, RPGs, mostly. Ones that I can really get into. Ones that I can really, you know, feel immersed in the world with. And not just the video game kind. And also generally just anything that really gets me immersed in a world of creative possibilities.
Yes, what is it? You're an outsider. Fantastic. Vicar Maximilian de Soto at your service. Or Vicar Max, if you're the sort who prefers brevity. And Ms. Holcomb as well. How rare to see you out. And with a complete stranger. Curious.
Just tagging along, Vicar de Soto. Don't mind me.
I so rarely get new people to talk to. Name your poison, anything at all. Spiritual counseling, this season's tossball predictions, the quickest way out of town.
Oh, she'll cut to the chase here because she's a bit weirded out by this religion. I don't really know how much this religion, I forget the name of it right now, is, was known back on Earth, or if it was a thing back on Earth. I have no clue. But, yeah, I imagine that our heroine here is not too, Vracia, I forgot her name for a second, but I imagine Vracia is not too, keen on a religion like this one. Or any religion, really. Parvati wanted to talk to you about what Reed asked us to do.
But what? I thought you would talk to him.
You wanted to speak to me, Ms. Holcomb? Every time I've tried to engage you in conversation, you look at the floor, answer in single words, and slink away.
She's so shy
I can't
and
imagine
cute. I
what
love
would
her.
be so grave as to drive her to my mission. What has Mr. Thompson asked her to do?
Cut off the power to Adelaide's deserters.
Depriving them of safety from the marauders and wildlife.
Mm-hmm.
I can see why that troubles you. Miss Holcomb has a soft heart. Always has, if you believe the talk.
Francia believes it, just from what she's seen so far. She's a really sweet person. And she wants to protect that innocence of hers if she can in this big old world. In this really effed up world. So what do you advise?
Assuming your goal is to save as many as possible, then you should bring everyone together. Send the power to Edgewater and convince the deserters to return to the fold.
Well, it sounds like I got my work cut out for me, especially because at first thought, Vracia is not too keen on doing that. If the deserters really would rather brave the wilderness than live here, she doesn't want to force them back. That doesn't seem right at all to her. Well, I got my work cut out for me. Thanks for your time. She's very canned about that response, like, oh my god, these fucking people. That's what she's thinking in her head. She's just glad she met one decent person in her mind, and that's Parvati so far. This has been a waste of time. Let's go. That's really, really tempting for her to say, but Parvati respects this man, and that's probably the only reason she's not going to be rude to him. Sounds like I've got my work cut out for me. Thank you for your time.
If you don't mind a bit of unsolicited advice, be cautious on your way to the geothermal plant. It is not as safe as you might assume.
I've been outside, I'm not impressed, and I can handle myself better than a vicar.
The marauders I met when I ventured outside the walls might agree with you. Bastards snuck up on me while I was dutifully hunting for a banned book in a collector's library. Barely escaped with my life. But you see, one of the reasons I transferred here was to get my hands on that heretical text. If you managed to acquire it for me, I'd pay quite a handsome sum for the book.
Why would a vicar be after a banned heretical book? And by the way, like, literature being banned also kind of scares her, and scares me too. I think everyone's ideas should be allowed to circulate, even if they're completely insane. Or completely, you know, like, I honestly feel like everyone's ideas should be able to circulate. No matter what. We need more creativity and ideas in this world that are not suppressed whatsoever in any way. And thankfully we have the internet where things are able to be shared a lot easier. Now, there's a lot of things that get into people's heads that are not healthy for them. But if more of that stuff circulates, because everything is circulating more and more of the stuff that needs to be heard is heard, then, you know, people will find the right things, or the right people will find the right things out of all that. I don't know. That's what I think, anyway. Why would a vicar be after a banned heretical book?
I just want to keep the writing out of layman's hands. It wouldn't do for such information to fall into public consumption.
She doesn't agree with that, but... I'll need to know a little bit more about this book before I agree to this.
It's a handwritten journal. A faded blue cover with the name M. Bakonu handwritten in the lower corner. I'll mark where I saw it on your map. Assuming you're serious? It is not only a beautiful relic of a bygone time, it's also the thoughts of an early thinker on the nature of man's place in the cosmos. Not many in this colony could understand its true value, should they ever read it.
She finds it kind of perplexing that he was like, oh, this is a banned text that I don't want falling into the hands of the layman, but then when he talks about it, it's like, this is something that is beautiful and precious, and no one, and these people couldn't understand its true value. So those two comments on the exact same book are very opposing to her, and she's raising her eyebrows about it. But if he's gonna pay her for grabbing this book while she's out killing marauders anyway, because they're trying to kill her first, then she might as well look for your book, I guess.
Thank you. If you retrieve it, you can always find me here.
I will do my best to retrieve it, sir. Hello there,
Hey
residents.
there, Mary. Don't see you around here too often.
Oh, I just came to talk to the vicar is all. None of us are above confessionals.
What have you got to confess? You ain't thinking of deserting, are you?
Oh my god.
What? No. And I resent the accusation.
Wasn't nothing but a question. Do excuse me.
This
I
is...
must be on my way. Verity to you.
Poor woman. This poor woman. Because that air of suspicion here, and this... See, the company is ingrained in most people, this loyalty to the company and this hatred for people that aren't loyal to the company. Of course people want to desert look at this place and how it's run that we've seen so far. Of course people want to desert this place. But the company has ingrained this extremely deep sense of hostility to those who would want to desert in the people, so that it keeps people here. That must be the primary reason. It's fucking scary, man. Anyway. Do I go to the lab already? Or there's other side quests I could be doing in here. I'm actually going to leave this recording here for now. I'm going to leave this episode here for now. And continue where I left off later. This has been a bit of a slow-paced episode, but I bet there's going to be more action for you next time. Maybe. It depends on what I end up doing, because I could probably end up doing a good few more side quests around, but I hope y'all enjoy the commentary regardless, so... Anywho, friendos, I hope y'all have absolutely wonderful days. If you would like, comment, subscribe on the video, it would help me out, you know. Normal YouTuber stuff. And I hope y'all have absolutely lovely days. And I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye, friends.